Let's plan a wedding together. So I have a wedding this weekend. Pretty easy one. It's only reception. There's no enhancements. There's no cocktail hour. Their ceremony is offsite in a church. So I really just have to worry about reception only. So it's pretty nice and easy. And I already met with them for the finals and whatnot. I finalized all the details with them and we're kind of taking it from that point on. So the first thing I do is I take all the information that they gave me, what they filled out online in their form and whatnot, and I put it into a cheat sheet. So this is my cheat sheet. I use Pages personally. I like Pages, you know, I'm a Mac guy or whatever. And basically I have all this information on the cheat sheet, right? The basic stuff, the date, the venue, the times, what song we're doing for intros. You can see my phonetics here. You know, I got like phonetics laid out. I don't know, they're probably not correct phonetics, but they make sense to me. How they want to be introduced, right? The new Mr. and Mrs. Kayla and Michael Matazzi. Welcome to the Jungle will be their intro song. We got First Dance, Can't Help Falling in Love. We're gonna fade that at 1:30. We got parent dances right here. I always put the dad's name or the mom's name, right? So Kayla and her dad, Charles. I don't just say and dad. I think it's good to say the actual name. So I put it there. That's what I read off of. And then what song they're dancing to, the fade out times, the toasts in order. I ask them what order they want to go in, and then last song and whatnot, and then do not play right here on the bottom. Now the actual template I use is way more robust. Like this wedding's pretty simple, just reception, so we dumbed it down a little bit, but if you look at the template, I have a spot for everything. And I've been using cheat sheets for a long time, but I gotta shout out Jason Jani because when I started working for him, he sent me his, and I thought his was like way better, like more organized. I just like the look of it. And I took his and I took it to another level. I just kind of customized it for myself. I've been using it ever since. And if you're DJing weddings and you're not using a cheat sheet, I highly recommend you start. If you wanna check out mine, I have a link in the description. I have it available in Word format, Pages format, and PDF fillable document format, or you could just print it out and fill it out. Now, there's a couple things I do with this. So number one, I print this out and then I also have a copy on my iPad mini. Now the extra copies I always print out, one will go to Santi, my wedding assistant, so he's on the same page music-wise because he's doing the music while I'm emceeing. And then the other 3 copies, I kind of just keep, just in case anybody needs them. I always do hand it to the venue, so whoever's running the show, if it's a wedding planner or, you know, a maitre d' at the venue, I hand them an extra copy so they're on the same page. And then sometimes a photographer gets a copy, sometimes there's another person, so I always have just extras, just so everybody has what I have and we're on the same page. The second way I use a cheat sheet is as an insurance policy. This is what I mean. So when I have a finals meeting with a couple, we go over everything. I always let them know at the end that, hey, listen, next step, I'll reach out the Monday before your wedding. I'm gonna email you a screenshot of my cheat sheet. It's what I use the day of. If you could just triple check it for me, make sure autocorrect didn't mess me up or whatever. And you know, if it all looks good, you guys can eat, drink, have a good time. Don't worry about me. I'll print this out. This is what I'm gonna use the day of and I'll be good to go. All right, that's my little spiel. I say it every single meeting and I always send it out to them. Why? Number one, it shows that I'm organized and I'm on top of things and it's like my week of check-in, right? I'm still alive, I'll be there, you know, that sort of thing. Number two, they truly will catch any mistakes on here and that's kind of the reason why I put so much information on here. I want them to triple check the time, the venue, what services we have, right? I have the services there. Even my phonetics, like maybe I misheard them on the Zoom meeting, like we don't meet in person anymore. Maybe I misheard them. They read the phonetics like, no, it's not a ta, it's a ta, like, you know what I mean? And little nuances like that, I'm able to adjust because they caught it. And even using this sheet as an example, you can see I have the fade times there. That's just for them to triple check. Maybe they changed their mind or whatever. I have the do not play listed on the bottom because maybe there's something missing from the do not play, right? So I put that down there so they can read it and be like, oh, you know what? No line dances too. Let me add that. Or you know what? I forgot to tell them about this artist. You know, it sparks it in their head. I can't tell you how many times something else comes up because they read the sheet. That's another reason why I put down here, special dedications, none. What's the point of that, right? There's none. So why even have it there? I can just delete it, right? Well, I have it there just in case there's a special dedication that they forgot about and they want to tell me about. And I don't know about you, but I hate last minute special dedications. Like I can't stand them because it's always at the worst time. It's the worst song. And I end up, oh, I forgot. Like, can you play this one song? And I'm like peak hour dancing and I have to stop the dance set just to play this one song for her mom and build it back up again. Like, I don't want to deal with that. If I know it ahead of time, then I can plan it into my game plan and make sure it doesn't, you know, clear a dance floor later. So I put that always just in case. So it pops into their head as they read it, right? And then they always give me an email back. Everything looks good, or this way you should change. And then from there, I take that and I start planning my music. So let's get into music. All right, so I got my Serato up here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is make 5 crates to start, right? So one is gonna be Mike and Kayla. By the way, the order, I kind of predetermine how I want to say their names throughout the night. So like for this one, it's Mike and Kayla. So it's either Kayla and Mike, or Mike and Kayla. You see how Kayla ends with an A and you can kind of like, Kayla, like at the end of it. So I feel like that's a better order because of that when I'm emceeing Mike and Kayla. So everywhere I have it, it's gonna be Mike and Kayla because that's how I'm gonna be saying it for the rest of the night. The whole night, I'm gonna be consistent with that. You know, Mike is a little lame to end on Mike. I don't know, little details like that, but I think it matters and it just helps the day of. Then I'm gonna make a formalities crate, a dinner crate, a dancing crate, and a slow stuff crate if they have it. Now this is just the basis of every wedding, right? So I do this every wedding, this little crate system here. And then as we go through the playlist and whatnot, we can determine if we want to make more detailed crates, little, you know, side crates or genre specific or whatever. So basically all the main stuff, intros, special dances, and then the last song of the night all goes in the formalities folder for me. Cool, so that's in order, that's good. So make sure all the cues are good. All right, cool. So we have our formalities in there. The cues are set, that's good to go. Now they do have a Spotify playlist. So if I swipe over, right here they had a Spotify playlist. But you know what? I'm gonna start with this. They requested YMCA, that's a banger. And then there's specific songs we like right here. So I'm actually gonna make that a must play first. I'm gonna keep that in a separate folder. So let me go, because I wanna make sure I play those no matter what. So we'll do must play. I'm gonna do others. So, and this may change, right? But like, so we have a dancing category and then we'll have must play and then others. So I can search all of them at once or just like individual ones. I also like having the must play separate, not just to remind me to play them, because you could say like, all right, I think September, right? September is gonna get played, all right? So you could say, all right, I don't need to put that on there, I'm gonna play it regardless. But the reason why I do is because it tells me that it's a must play, so I'm gonna play the song a little longer too. So I'm not gonna cut that off early. I'm not gonna just do like the chorus only or just a verse and be out, you know? Like a lot of times I'll quick mix things and whatever, but like if I know it's a must play, then like I'm watching reactions very, very closely. And as I'm playing it, like I'm already kind of planning on playing it longer within the set. So I'm gonna fit it in the set that way. Now, another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, since it was the Sister of the Bride song here, right? Yeah, Bride Sister song. So I'm gonna take spins here and I'm just gonna edit this and go Sister of Bride song. This tells me to, Sister of Bride, son of a bitch. This is just a little reminder to shout her out when I play it, or at least, at the very least, make sure she's on the dance floor when I play it, you know? So I don't have to play it again. We've all been there. You play a song and they end up not being there. Oh, can you play it one more time? I wasn't here, I missed it, or I came in the tail end, and now you're repeating the song, you know? Don't want to do that. So that just kind of prevents all that. All right, so we got our must plays in there. Now let's knock out their playlist. So we have the Spotify link right here in the planner, in our online planner. I'm just going to copy this. And for this, I'm going to use Crate Hackers. Crate Hackers is super cool. So basically, we're going to go to Crate Builder here. I can copy this Spotify link. It's going to bring up the playlist. So now I took all the songs in the Spotify playlist, I cross-referenced it with my hard drive, and it's gonna give me options on which songs to add to a list. Now, because I have a lot of dupes, it's a little tricky, so I'm gonna go through and kind of select every version that I use, and then we'll be able to export it into a playlist and drop it right into Serato. All right, so I selected everything, so now we're just gonna name it. I'm just gonna name it Requests to keep it simple. And we're going to go here and we're going to export it to an M3U. Now you can export it directly to Serato if you have 4.0 or more, like if you have the new Serato, it'll actually just add it right to your crates right away and it'll just show up in your Serato. I don't have 4.0 yet, so we're just going to do it as an M3U here. I'm going to select the path. Let's put it right on the desktop. Okay. And then it should export it right like this. Bam. So now bring up the Serato over here, and if I go here, I'm gonna be able to grab this playlist. So let me move it on my desktop here. So I'm just gonna move it over here just so it's easier. So now I can go right here, take this playlist, this M3U, and just drag it right into Serato, and bam, it's gonna have everything I need right in here. Nice and easy. By the way, if you want to try out Crate Hackers for yourself, I got a link below. Now looking through this list, it looks like there's a good mix, like a good amount of stuff for the older people, a good amount of stuff for the younger people. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take out all the older songs and put them into a folder. So like I can kind of keep it. Because another question I always ask my couples is, do you want me to front load the older music or do you want me to sprinkle it in throughout the night? This couple wants me to sprinkle it in throughout the night. Stay open format so it's not out of the ordinary for me to play a disco song the last hour, you know? So because of that, I definitely want to have the older stuff separated. So throughout the night I can, you know, revert back and, you know, throw a classic in there for everybody. So I'm gonna go through, I basically organize it by artist and then kind of like pick out the artist. So ABBA, AC/DC, and so on. Bon Jovi, Bon Jovi. So then I'm going to take these songs and I'm going to just make that into a new crate. And then while I'm still in this crate, I'm going to delete those songs out of this crate. So now I have this in a crate. And I'm just going to name this Oldies, right? And then this is the rest of the requests, okay? So we separated that. Now the next thing I might want to do, I'm looking at it, I mean, do I want to separate genres here? Maybe I'll separate rock. Just because like when I'm doing my rock set, like if I'm like, you know, in that realm, I can refer to like the rock crate that they requested and make sure, because like the middle, I'm not going to play the middle out of nowhere. It's got to be like after a really banger rock song or two, and then I get into that. I don't use the middle as a song that I would change genres for, that a song that I would make a left turn with, you know what I mean? I would use something like All the Small Things or whatever, and then go into the middle afterwards, like after we already established that, you know, we're playing rock. So it's a good idea to have this stuff separate, lit here. So the rock separate, just a couple rock things, oldies. Everything else is basically, there's some Latin. So I'm going to separate these 3 Latin songs real quick. Just delete those out of there. All right, so now we have all this under. So I'm just going to put like this under requests. So I can just delete this one, and then we're going to go, okay, requests, and then oldies, rock, and Latin. And then that's our dancing folder right there. So we could search it all like this, obviously, or we can break it down into the different things and whatnot. And it may sound silly that there's only 3 songs in certain crates or whatever, like the rock and Latin crate, but this just really allows me to make sure I play these songs no matter what. So like when I'm in that realm, I can refer back to that. All right, I am playing some Latin, so let me try out this new Bad Bunny song. You know what I mean? And then I go from there and I make sure I play it. Because some requests are just tough to bring in out of nowhere without like ruining your entire set. So that's just kind of my thoughts. Now there's no slow song requests, so we're good there. And that's it. Wedding's planned, people. Nothing left to do but to execute. Every wedding's a Super Bowl. Let's get it.